Welcome to the On the Slab Horror Show. Once again with me, your host, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, joined as always by my right-hand man and my left-hand man. Depending on where they are on your screen, we'll introduce the G-Man, Greg Flanagan himself, first and foremost. And of course, last but not least, not even in the slightest, the mighty Carl Kingwo.
How are we doing?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another show where we did promise last week that we would give you a follow-on from the 1974 classic, of course, the original and the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we would follow up with the newly released Netflix Abomination movie, something like that. And we are going to get straight into it today. First and foremost, thanks everybody for subscribing, liking the previous shows, plural. You know now that we have a Facebook page. We're up to 300 likes already, so everybody that's given us some support on that one, we do tip our hats to you. Much love to everybody. And we have noticed the numbers rising in terms of subscriptions and, of course, comments on our show, both on the social media and on YouTube. So, and of course, we are available on audio pretty much everywhere at the moment. So we really, really appreciate all of your support. But we do also know that with your support, you expect certain criteria from us three guys here. I'm not going to say gentlemen because we are certainly not going to conduct ourselves.
This isn't going to be a gentleman-like show.
We're not going to be conducting ourselves in gentlemanly fashion tonight. And we are going to go on quite a tirade here. And Carl, who is, of course, our special effects guy, you know what? They got us so mad that we didn't even say why this is dropping on Friday night. Because everyone knows it's horror night, but this isn't a horror. This is just horrific.
Doesn't deserve that introduction.
We are, of course, lads, talking about the follow-on, the weak-ass attempt at a follow-on from, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, just like Halloween did, but unfortunately, not everyone can have a John Carpenter. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre sure as hell needed one in this case.
Not everyone could have a John Carpenter. No, we got a David Garcia Green. Or David Blue Garcia. Sorry.
I hope I could get him on this show one day just to tell him that he should never attempt another horror movie.
Lord,
just to turn him off.
How bad it was that Legendary Pictures hired this fella, right? Now, his other movie might be good, but he's only had one credited movie other than this.
Which is?
Ottawa or something like that. Some kind of fucked up yoke.
Well, I'm not going to watch that, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, me
either. But he absolutely tanked this to bits.
Would you say he butchered it?
No. I said to you after I finished watching this on Friday, I'd have much rather sat in the dentist.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, yeah.
And watch this.
But I'd much rather to have my own face ripped off by Leatherface and him wear it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. This was horrendous. This was an hour and 23 minutes of absolute shite.
Yeah.
The build up, the start of this was actually the best of it. The build up to going into the town, and that's about 5 minutes or 6 minutes.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And then you realised as soon as you get in, the wokeness of this movie was just, we've got a problem with the Confederate flag, and we've nitpicked, different kind of nationalities, but not nationalities, but different, we have to mix it up. We have to have white, brown, yellow, everyone in one, just to include everything. It shouldn't have been about that. That shouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have cared, if they were literally, from fucking Mars, to be honest with you. It was all about the fact that you knew where the narrative was going for me in this one. Personally, I knew the narrative was going woke. Oh, there's a Confederate flag. We got to get rid of that.
Trying to tick boxes all the time.
And it's a Netflix production, so go figure.
But to be fair to Netflix now, a lot of their stuff lately has been very, very good.
Yeah, but they are still very woke with their message. You know what I mean? And
to an extent, they do They do try and play it safe, but this is a horror movie. This isn't like
there's
this
no
wasn't
safe place
Netflix.
with horror movies, right?
This wasn't even a full Netflix production. This was made by Legendary Pictures. Like,
shame on them.
Yeah, shame on them.
I don't know. I know they got the rights after 2.5 years of battling or whatever to do this, which was grand. But they brought this out, and it was like it was rushed. This looks like it was made in about 10 fucking minutes.
Okay, well then I apologize to Netflix then for that, because I wasn't aware of that, and you are the stats man, Greg. So if I make a mistake, I apologize. But still,
no. Well, I know Netflix had production parts in it, but I know Legendary Pictures were.
They probably changed the dialogue last minute and said, "Let's make this more woke." Actually,
I don't know what they should have changed the whole fucking script because it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
Like they went on to do what Halloween 2018 done, and it looks like they ordered it off Wish because Leatherface in this was terrible. The mask was atrocious.
The mask was shocking. And by the way, what did he even put? Here's a question: when he he obviously cuts his not his mother up, but his keeper. Like when he takes the mask off, when he takes the skin off. Like, what did he put the mask on with? What made it stick? Just the blood? Was it glue?
No, I think he cuts out because he's holding it by the ears, and there's holes in the ears. He obviously took the ears over his
All right, fair enough. Yeah, but that makes sense.
What doesn't make sense in this movie, right? So there's obviously plot holes in nearly every horror movie. The first one of these obviously being Just a Granddad, which I brought up last week, but I can get over that.
Let it lie, will you? Let it fucking lie.
In this, she says that she looks after teenagers and whatnot, right? And there's a picture on the wall that he has his face carved out of, like he scraped his face out of. He was a full-grown man in the 1974 one, right? So he's gone in there as a teen, right? So where the fuck is the continuation? You know what I mean? They've just picked off and went, this guy was in this fucking care home or whatever.
Makes
but
no
he was a
sense.
full-grown man in 74, he might have been 20 or whatever. But he was a big unit. There's a picture of him as a kid in this. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, they just randomly put parts together in this. And I just don't understand why or how it was allowed to be done. Like,
yeah. Carol,
you ready for my dissection of it?
I am. Do you know what?
The YouTube world is ready.
Sip a 7-Up for the working man on this one.
Here we go.
Yes. What a pile of shit. And that's been fucking nice. That's gonna be honest with you. Like, the last one before this was Texas Chainsaw 3D, and I was getting angrier and angrier as the fucking film went on.
Was that the last one?
Well, but then there was the Leatherface one, but that was a prequel.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a prequel. Yeah.
But this one, just from the fucking start, I was just looking at her. I was like, and Kerry put it perfectly when we were talking, and I told you what she said. She goes, "It's very modern."
Yeah.
Right. Leatherface he's not modern. He's not, and also he's not a supernatural character like Michael Myers almost.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that strength and speed, and in this. He's meant to be like 75 to 80 years of age, and he's fucking flying around the place.
Well, you're talking about it's 48 years since 74, right? Which was fine. So you're gonna make him at least 70.
Yeah, he's not gonna fly around like that. Also, like you were saying about the mask, that's the one thing that always irks me the most about these fucking remakes, whatever, right? I think I said it to you the other night. The simple mask that they had in the original was classic, timeless, right? Then don't forget, there's about three or four different masks he wears in the original. The old lady, the beautiful lady, or what a pretty lady, whatever you call it, and then the iconic one. Now, they could have easily weathered them up. They could have done what Halloween Kills did, and fucking weathered them up, made them really But no, they have they have to make them look like a dog shitting on his face or something.
No, the only thing I would say about that is, with it being human skin, it probably would have decayed over 50 years.
I mean, it would have been, but like there still would have been features.
Oh yeah, 100%. It still looked better than what we got.
Yeah, it would.
Because what we got was he went to the €2 shop and said, "Yeah, give me that."
I've gotten better masks in the €2 shop than that piece of crap. But here's what annoys me, right? It's simple. It's a simple Well, I think they should have just left it alone, the original, as a standalone, which everyone knows. I feel, and I feel that more so now than ever.
Well, I consider it a standalone after watching.
Yes, me too.
Well, it is the only way to do it, really, isn't it? Because
hashtag
even
not my Leatherface.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the perfect hashtag. But like even when you look at 2 that they brought out, the one with Dennis Hopper, and 3, they were okay, but
they make this look.
generally
They make
good.
this. This film makes them look like. I mean, I've always been
Like Gone with the Wind or something.
I've been a big advocate for number 2 because I did like number 2 in the 80s.
2 is great though. It's a great standalone, really. It's
Yeah.
like they're just piggybacking off the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: like they kind of continue the character of Leatherface into, as much as I don't like it, they still have him as the mentally retarded person who he's not killing just to fucking kill.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing it out of fear. Whereas as I said just before, the last few Leatherfaces have been big hulking brutes that have no rhyme or reason. Bang, and there's no family. There's no family in this one.
I think
That was part of the dynamic, was the family driving him to fucking do all these bad things.
Yeah, I think that's what let the 03 one down more so than the story, because they stuck to the family in that one, and obviously the dad being the ringleader and the sheriff of it. But Andrew Bryowski was far too big.
Huge.
Like he was a machine in that, and he loses his arm and he's still running around chasing people down. I think that is what lets that 2003 one down.
They also said, I don't know if anyone picked up on this. They also said that he was, now I'm going to say only, but for this man I mean only. They said that he was 6'3" and 230 pounds. Now, let me put some context on that. Right, we're all pro wrestling fans. Bret the Hitman Hart was 6 foot and 236 pounds. Like, Leatherface looked a lot bigger than Bret Hart, right? I mean, obviously, probably not in the shape that he was in, but a much like you would be expecting
more
big,
imposing figure,
big Van Vader or Bam Bam Bigelow type body shape on him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was like you can't even get the little details right in this one. Which is, and I know people are going to go, oh, you guys are horror snobs. Well, yeah, we are. That's why we run a horror podcast.
When it comes to this film, I definitely am.
Yeah. Carol, would that annoy you? I know I only mentioned that just as passing, but would that, even little details like that, would that annoy you?
Yes.
You're looking going, 230 pounds? I mean, like...
Yeah. What's that, his left titty?
You know what I mean? And he's 3 inches taller than a 6-footer.
I mean, like Andrew Bryowski is definitely the best part of 6'7" when he done the 03 one.
Easily. You know what I mean?
And he's built.
Yeah, he's a machine.
Whereas Leatherface was it was a flabby fella. You know, like Gunnar Hansen wasn't exactly fit. I don't mean that in a bad way, but
but he was
body shape. You know,
definitely. He had a dad bod.
Yeah.
But no, like they tried to play it off again. Obviously, the mentally deficient character, and he was a recluse and whatnot. But to me, it felt like they got Texas Chainsaw and smushed it together with Psycho and got more Psycho out of it because of the way he was with that lady, and then just scrambled the rest of it up and was like, what the fuck do we do here?
It's like, you know, a film like that comes around once in a lifetime. The original, I have to say that. Once in a lifetime. Now, something like that, I don't think you can faithfully make follow-ups to it. You can with Halloween because of the character. Like Michael Myers, you know, he is evil. He's pure evil. Whereas Leatherface is made to be evil, I feel. And that's not taking pity on him. Nothing like that. But like, you know, he was abused all of his life.
No, but he is a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and quite easily influenced. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. He's the victim of circumstance of a bad family.
Exactly. Whereas, like, I was thinking, Greg, yourself and myself talked about this before over many a beer back in the day. I remember us having this specific conversation. Now, not specific, but along the, you know, just generally, I'm paraphrasing here because we were probably both absolutely pissed. But I remember us talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a back bar and Bray back one time. But I remember we were talking about something about oh yeah, that's what it was. When you looked at the research that went into, say, like characters like Leatherface, we'll just use him in particular, and we were talking about where they come from. We were talking about Ed Gein actually, and the influence that Ed Gein had on, you know, Psycho and you know, this movie in particular, the original movie, should I say, in particular, 1974 movie. Like, if you're a director and you have a team around you, like, it's really not that hard in 2022. But to pick up a phone and look at what influenced those characters and maybe go back and look at a bit of research on.
There's so many movies, even the documentaries that are on Ed Gein. Ed Gein has a movie about himself called Gein.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a low budget movie, but it's very well done.
Very good. Yeah, the actor that plays him, I can't recall his name, but he's actually very good.
He's a spit of him. Spit of him.
But like, it's not hard, and you go back and you watch the 74 and you watch what Gunnar done. Do you know what I mean? Watch how he moved. Yeah. Watch the way he conducted himself in the movie. Yeah. They took this movie, which was timelessly done, right, and tried to make it into a modern horror, because modern horror fans won't sit through the 1974 version because it's too slow.
And fans of the 1974 version get angry watching shit like this.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
now, that's another thing, right? It was, you know, there was an atmosphere there. Sorry about my atmosphere of
not much
pain,
man,
suffering, hate for Toby Hooper, hate for the Heat. You know, it was a victim. They were victims of their environment.
Yeah,
and that's what made it even more real, more believable. Whereas this shit, they're like, who can we get to make a film of? Oh, Leatherface. What about his family? Nah, fuck that. Like, you know,
he's just living in a what was it? Was it an orphanage? Was it
some sort of an orphanage on a main street? By the way, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then this guy came out of it. Yeah, get the boat.
But that's what I said earlier. Like, he was 20 odd, easily 20 odd, making the 74.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's 48 years later now. So you're saying he's 70 something, and he's moving.
Yeah, and there you go. That just brings it right back. Sorry, Greg, but that brings it right back. He wasn't exactly a skillful killer as in 1974.
No, he was just brute. He was pure brute.
And how was he faster, stronger? Do you know what I mean?
Like that skill that he had. I mean, and it was a nice kill scene, I suppose. Like when he breaks the arm and then like grabs him.
I hated that.
What I'm saying is it's a nice, like, that's a sequence for someone like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's or Freddy Krueger or something like that. You know.
I think we're gonna see a worrying trend here happening, good lads, and it's down to Halloween kills.
I don't know, but I don't think we're gonna see movies as bad as that going forward. Considering
we won't.
The reviews that they're getting.
Oh, it's getting lambasted.
Rightly so.
This movie should in turn kill the franchise for at least 10 years.
It won't though.
No, I know. Problem. Especially, like, I don't know whether anybody who's listening to this actually watched all the way through.
Thankfully, you told me about that.
There is an end credit scene in this.
So now it's a Marvel film, you know?
It's got an end credit scene. How many fucking horror films can you think off the top of your head that has an end credit scene? It's 9 minutes of credits. 9 minutes you have to wait to watch this end credit scene. And all they did was do a Rambo on it where he walks up to a house. That's it.
I'm glad you watched that for me, those credits.
I didn't. I fast forwarded. I just noticed that there was loads of time left, and I was like, there has to be something more than that.
Let me just tell you what I thought of the very, very, very few positives that were in it. All right.
The cinematography.
Just like you could get like there's 5 or 6 pictures of, you know, like him with the face or him coming out of the cornfield or whatever. Some of them look.
Pops up, like,
yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you did make a film and just said, "There's some nice photographs," like, you know, perfect. The gore was great. If it wasn't a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it'd be even better. But, you know, as I said, there wasn't as much gore in 1974 as, like, they didn't need to show it.
Even in terms of the 03, when Michael Bay tried to hold that a bit more.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we know like in 74, your man gets belted with the lump hammer.
I love
Very
it.
little blood, right?
The noise.
One gets put on the
noise,
hook. And he doesn't just barely try and hang her up on that hook. He just lemps her up there. And
And you see her sliding down onto it. Like, there you go. Little things, as you said, little details.
Not a whole lot of blood,
they're the
right?
things. They're the things I look for, yeah.
Like Michael Bay has Leatherface's arm chopped off in it. Not a whole lot of blood. Which is nice to see in terms of horror. Sometimes, whatever about people dying, but when you see it and there's very little blood and it's happening during the day and things... This thing happens over one night and he kills, 30 people?
Yeah.
But, like, the one thing that got me was, why bother bringing Sally back? Do you know what I mean?
Talk about pissing on a character's legacy.
Whatever about making this 5 years ago when she was still alive. But this isn't even the same girl that played her.
No.
Can I just throw this in there as well? This is hilarious because it's fresh in my mind after watching it last night as well. I know it's fresh in everyone's mind because they had to watch it. My Mrs. Rachel, she turned around and said that last night as well. Like she goes, "Who's this?" Because you know when you see her doing all the bits and she's skinning the cow, and she turns around and goes, "Who's that?" And I said, "Well, it's obviously herself." And she goes, "Yeah, but aren't they city dwellers? Why the fuck would she stay in Texas and become that after that fucking horrific experience? You would be," and this is a woman talking about what generally a woman would do. Like you would be gone straight back to New York City or Boston or wherever the fuck you came from, and you would never go back and never want to see that kind of or feel that isolation ever again.
Well, considering how traumatized she was at the end of the first one, there's no way she would have been able to compose herself like that.
One thing that gets me is she goes from being genuinely terrified, right, to being this all of a sudden badass Sarah Connor kind of way. Yeah,
it was too.
And she rides with a shotgun.
This lad, what's this director's name? Because I don't really respect him enough. Obviously,
David Garcia.
Right,
David Blue Garcia.
But this lad is obviously just high on concoctions. You know what I mean?
I 100% don't think he'll be getting many big films in his career. To be honest. This will be
hopefully not.
If that's your second movie and that's what you're doing, and it's all well and good saying, "Oh, there was some nice, cinematography in it." There wasn't nice cinematography in the original movie, but guess what?
There was a lot of noise.
But it wasn't intentional, though.
It wasn't intentional.
Oh, yeah, no, not intentional. No.
Because, and you know why?
And that's about the nicest bit of the original because of the heat and everything.
But that's because, there was a narrative. And I don't know whether some of these modern directors actually understand the definition of that word. It's a word that can be easily thrown around, narrative. Understand what it means, guys. It just means story. It's very simple. You go to film school and college for this. You get paid fucking millions to do this. So I think it was absolutely shocking, and I for one certainly won't be like when you look at something like Terrifier, a quick segue, like the best clown movie for me anyway, the scariest one without a shadow of a doubt. There's suspense, narrative, decent cinematography with like such a low budget by modern standards.
Was shot that way as well intentionally to make it feel. So David Leon understood the atmosphere that he needed and the tension.
Yeah, David Leon, by the way, shout out. That's.
Please come on our show. I'm asking you for ages.
We would love you. We would love you to do that.
We'll all just bombard.
There's not a lot more we can add to this. I think this is going to be called the 40 or the 30 or 40 minute breakdown of how shit one movie can be. I don't know if this was named a different movie, lads. Just maybe in the interest of fairness, if this wasn't a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie and they made some new character to try and be original. Would it have made it any better?
it might have made it a bit better. I brought this up to a few points that people were making. It was like, oh, it was decent and all. I was like, yeah, it might have been decent if they didn't piggyback off the name and literally steal the Halloween 2018 idea to go straight from 78 to 18. So you go from 74 to 2022 in this one. And then you bring back the main surviving girl from the original one. And then absolutely take the piss and just piss all over. Like
if they call this the pulverizer, Greg, and he just happened to be a bit of a weirdo, you know what I mean? I'm just using that for, I'm trying to give Garcia future tips here on how we can make the original.
It'd be a B-rated movie, really.
Paying you for that, Ian.
Yeah, it'd be a B-rated movie, and I probably wouldn't have been as angry.
No, me neither.
I'd have watched it once, and I'd have probably never watched it again. And it probably wouldn't have stuck around in my mind as long as it has, because they're piggybacking off the name and a character that's so well revered in terms of horror. Like if you think about it, you have
top five,
you have the big five.
Not anymore.
No.
I'd still have the original one there, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but if obviously I would.
The franchise is now diluted to beyond repair at this stage.
The right word.
You know something?
It's very sad to watch it go the way it's going. Like I seen it with my own, with obviously with Nightmare on Elm Street. It got worse and worse and worse, and then in 2010 we had that fucking horrendous piece of shit that came out, which was beyond thing for me. Like it was my favorite franchise. And
so now I'm in the position.
Movie. Yeah.
Now I'm in the position you were in, Greg.
Yeah, but you know what's worse, Carl? You didn't have to pay for that to go and see it in the cinema.
True, yeah.
Well, guess what I've had to put up with looking at all these John Carpenter remakes over the years. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, name one and I'll tell you.
I get it that like whatever about remaking certain ones from directors, but when it's actually your favorite franchise.
Well, Halloween for me was the same. Now, I have to say, I was able to, I go, like, for me, I can be a little bit more diplomatic than you guys with certain movies, I can enjoy the Jaws.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I can enjoy the Jaws franchise, even though, like, some of them are fucking shocking. I enjoy it just because I just suspend disbelief and whatnot. With Halloween, there was still, I did enjoy a couple of them. I enjoyed it up to, like, say 4 or 5. I actually did enjoy up to 4 or 5, but then, like, when Halloween H2O and all started coming out, it was like the modern. You know what it is, lads? You know what this really boils down to? It's the modernization of older films. At least, like the Freddy franchise and the Friday the 13th franchise and the Halloween franchise. They were all within a couple of years of each other, so it was still had that kind of, to use Carl's word, atmosphere and that 80s kind of vibe to it. When they brought the modernization into it and tried to start bringing in, special effects and all that,
like the one with Friday the 13th, like Jason X, when he went to space.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
What is even going on here?
It's like, what are we doing here now? You know what I mean? I loved Freddy I loved Jason in New York. You know what I mean? It's like
it's Manhattan or something.
Yeah, man. Like, I fucking love it for what it is, Jason chasing down motherfuckers in New York City. But look, before we wrap up, maybe next week we'll have something a little bit more positive for people, just to give them, to let them know that we haven't just hit the menopause button, and get 3 angry old men on the pod.
We're not doing it now and again, Ian.
We are, and I think,
to be fair, when we done the review for the 20 or for Halloween Kills, it was mostly mostly positive, apart from giving out about cancel culture.
Oh no,
and
absolutely.
I have a feeling that's what played into this movie as well, that they tried to appease people and didn't want to touch on things that might have got them in trouble. Like
it was too liberal. It was too liberal and it was too woke. It was too, sometimes leave politics out of movies. Do you know what I mean? And just let us, if there is little, rednecks in bumfuck Virginia or whatever like that down in these places, like that's what they are. And if you want to call that out, that's fair enough. But like, don't be pointing out symbology like by, you know, the Confederate flag and oh, here's a guy here who doesn't really know. Because I mean, at the start of the bat, the guy working in the fucking garage doesn't come across as a bad guy. In fact, the woke people coming into it actually are the bad guys, because
They're the bad guys.
they basically take a woman out of her home and cause her basically to, you know, have the debt that she has by, you know, being imposing, and it turns out she's telling the truth and stuff like, and you know, it was just it was fucking a crock of shit, to be honest with you. And
do you think, before we go on, lads, do you think those characters, the millennials, were made to be that despicable?
No.
So as we'd enjoy Leatherface killing them, maybe?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think that's the narrative they went in there with. No, I don't.
I think they were made to be liked, especially the two sisters. They put it that she was in a school shooting and everything.
They were arseholes.
I was like, what? When I seen that, I was like, what?
Yeah, the school shooting thing. Yeah, Rachel pointed that out as well, Greg, actually. She was
like, what?
She goes, school shooting. As soon as she saw the scar, she goes, guarantee a school shooting. And within seconds, I was like, here we go.
And then she showed it. I was in a school shooting, and I was
guns are bad. Guns. People don't kill people. Guns kill people. As if the gun just got up.
Guns don't kill people.
Rappers do.
Good Lord.
It was your man in Police Academy, wasn't it? Guns don't kill people. I do.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Oh my God.
No,
you know,
it was. I couldn't buy into Leatherface. I couldn't. Generally, the only person I felt particularly sorry for was the Margot Robbie fucking off Wish character, who went in the ambulance.
Yes, and, she didn't deserve it, because I mean, she like, but I mean, she deserved it in the end because she was an idiot. I'd have stayed put for about 3 hours, until I knew the motherfucker was well in the cornfield, you know.
I'm not entirely sure why she decided to go on an ambulance with someone she doesn't know, and some big fucking unit steps into the back of the ambulance with the fucking.
There's another plot hole for you there.
Just
but I mean to say, she got a rough old one.
Well, okay, so here we go. Here's the exciting part. Here is the exciting part. I think for the first time ever, I think we're gonna have an empty slab with no meat or no dinner for anybody. In fact, I would actually take away half of the slab here and give it a minus. You know, I'm taking away half the table here in this, and I'm just gonna say -5.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I don't think this record will ever be broken. It's -5.
No, I don't think so.
No, well, I don't think minus is the right way, but 0 is definitely
for me.
Definitely. The meat is contaminated. Then we won't we
call it that. Yeah,
you can't even feed it to the dogs.
Feed it at your own risk, and it'll still be better than watching this piece of shit.
I'm not even giving it to I'm not even giving it to my worst enemy. That meat, you know, it's walking.
It's a 0.
Yeah, it's a 0 for me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
There's nothing enjoyable about it.
Well, we may as well announce our next show, because we know exactly what it is, and next week we are going to be talking about, of course, by Greg's demand, Scream, of course, which is another modern movie. It's
this is one that's done fucking right though.
Well, that will be debated on the show.
Yes.
That will be debated on the show.
Don't be showing your hand straight away, Greg, you know.
Yeah, because me and Carl are here.
I've been very vocal with mine.
I might surprise some people on this one.
I'm saying nothing until next week.
100%. But until next week, once again, follow us on Facebook. We are on the slab, OTS Horror. Is it OTS Horror at Gmail?
OTS Horror, yeah.
At gmail.com. And we are, of course, available on all audio platforms as well. And you are watching us on YouTube, so you know exactly where to find us. So if you have just stumbled across this here pod, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, like us, hit the bell notification for updates. We drop shows every single Friday. Why?
Because
it's movie now.
Yeah.
My bad this week.
He bottled it.
Carl fucked it up and he bottled it this week. It's because Friday night is
Horror
night.
Yeah, my man. But that's okay because that's at the end of the show. So we you get. And look, and Carl, look, that's your baby. This movie has put you in this form.
I know sorts exactly.
It's not your fault. But yeah, make sure you comment and let us know if you like the show. If you got any suggestions and stuff like that you want us to,
or anything you want covered.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Absolutely.
And another little feature that we started this week was we're going to have little polls every week, just for fun. So like this week I put one up about did anyone? It was just a simple one to start off. Did you see this film? Did you think it was worthy the name? Yes or no? Then like Ian will throw up a question next week, or Greg, whoever, and we'll just roll it from there, just for a bit of crack. Just to get a bit more interaction between.
It's all about participation. And the movie we covered today, no one wants to participate in. I get it, including the actors that were in it. Fuck those guys too.
Will we give our did we watch anything good that we can suggest for people? I have one.
I have one.
Okay,
go ahead, Greg.
You want to go ahead, Carl?
Okay, yeah. I watched the original When a Stranger Calls last night.
My God, what a movie! The remake not so good. Remake it wasn't bad.
I haven't seen the remake.
Not bad.
The original was good.
Well, I mean, don't forget without trying not to give spoilers away, that Scream's opening was based on this opening in homage, and it's just great.
Yeah, they tipped it very well in Scream. Wes Craven doing what he done.
Yeah.
Well, I watched. I'll give my one. So, because Greg is going to have a better one than me, probably. So I went back. Now it's one that probably slipped under the radar. Like I'd be a big fan of the European movies as well, but I tried to kind of get a bit of modern horror into my blood. And I know everyone knows The Orphanage, the Spanish one. If anyone doesn't know,
so good.
The Orphanage, the Spanish movie, go and check that out. But I went with another Spanish movie. I went with Veronica, which I think still might be on Netflix. I'm not sure.
It's on one of them. It's on Netflix or Prime, one or the other.
Okay, it's on. But if you can get your hands on Veronica, I would highly recommend it. It is a fantastic Spanish movie, and I'm telling you, those Europeans and the Japanese, they it's called J horror for a reason. And then
they picked it out of the park, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh my God! So I'm going to try and come up with some more French, Spanish, Italian, and German horrors to try and. I know, like Veronica is probably known but the reason I chose that is because it's on Netflix. I didn't want to go too obscure. where people.
To find.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So
I think we've kind of kept that out this kind of way where it's been handier to find them.
Yeah, exactly.
Any of the picks that we've gone, the one I went with was 30 Days a Night.
Oh, brilliant!
Good show, great show.
Absolute vampire.
One of my favorite vampire films, and I think we discussed that in an earlier episode.
Yeah, we done it on one of the lists.
Is it Timothy Oliphant that's in that, or
no? Josh Hartnett.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. No, I know the movie. It's just been a long time since I watched it.
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett and Ben Foster, who's not the footballer. But yeah, no, it's just a fucking vicious movie.
Vampires done right.
Yeah, that's how vampires are supposed to be done.
Yeah,
they're just pure vicious.
Dirty, disease-ridden fuckers.
Yeah. And
well, look,
their own language and all. It's just
now that we've spent an extra half an hour on our wrap up, we are going to wrap up on this occasion. And next week's show is going to be, of course, the 2022 Scream, and we're looking forward to that one. So until next week, for me, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, for the G-Man, Greg Flanagan, and of course Carl Kingwo, until we see you next time, stay very scared. Not unless you watch a better movie than Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix. Don't do it.
Which wouldn't be hard.
Stay away. Over and out, guys.
Can't wait till David